players. One of the players. One of the players? Yeah.
Southern Virginia University, the NCAA Continental Volleyball Conference, and its member schools ask all participants to support our shared goal of promoting positive sportsmanship in an exciting and respectful sporting event. We request your help in establishing an atmosphere that is free from use of profanity, vulgarity, racial or sexist comments, personal insults, and other intimidating actions directed at student athletes, coaches, and team representatives. Such actions will not be tolerated and may result in removal from the site of competition. Additionally, consumption of alcohol and use of tobacco products is prohibited. Creating a positive environment and an enjoyable experience for all starts with you. Thank you.
I like it. That's good.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2019 CVC Volleyball Tournament. Today's semifinal match is between the #1 seed, Southern Virginia Knights, and the #4 seed, Marymount Saints. First, we'll see starters for the Saints of Marymount. The 6'2" junior setter from Buffalo, New York, #4, Joseph Zerglatt. The 6'2" senior outside hitter from Virginia Beach, Virginia, #7, Erik Wiles. The 6'5" freshman middle blocker from Leesburg, Virginia, #11, Jason Perkins. The 6'5" senior middle blocker from Long Beach, California, #15, Remington Shahan. The 6'4" junior outside hitter from Santa Clarita, California, #20, Sam Stafford. The 6'3" senior outside hitter from Chesapeake, Virginia, #24, James Knight. The libero for the Saints, the 5'9" freshman from Ashburn, Virginia, #1, Kyle Marcola. The head coach of Marymount is Dan Roberto, assistant coach are Nikolai Petrov and Nick Collins. Now, the #1 seed, your Southern Virginia Knights. The 6' senior outside hitter from Centerville, Ohio, #1, Paul Cleaver-Clark. The 6'3" sophomore right side from Laguna Hill, California, #4, Mark Stapley. The 6'5" senior middle blocker from Gilbert, Arizona, #7, Mitch Kusevich. The 6'1" junior center from Lincoln, Nebraska, #8, Kaipo Tamagoa. The 6'4" senior middle blocker from Saugus, California, #10, Cole Wilson. The 6'2" sophomore outside hitter from San Juan, Argentina, #12, Noel Recoveri. The 5'11" senior from Honolulu, Hawaii, #14, Daniel Ayana. The new coaches of the team is Tom Peterson, assistant coaches are associate head coach John Baker, Debbie Baker, and Russell Tompkins. The officials for today's match are Kevin Ball and Ann Phillips. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll please join us in rising for the national anthem.
Welcome to Rockbridge County High School for this year's 19 CVC Conference Tournament Championship. It is the second round of the tournament. The first round was won by both Juniata College and Marymount University. And now today we have Southern Virginia University, the #1 seed, versus Marymount University, the #4 seed of this tournament. And it should be an exciting matchup today. We saw Marymount take on Rutgers Newark yesterday. It was a tight matchup all the way around. But Marymount was able to come away with it. They had some great play from their star players, Remington Shahan with 14 kills and Sam Safley with 14 kills. And so some great play from there. But with SVU, they got a lot of talent on their side as well. We're going to kick things off. Of course, we got Cougar Clark, Noel Rickabaran, just to name a few. And so we'll get things started today. Of course, Marymount University, the visiting team, being the lower seeded team in this game. We're seeing a great attendance from Southern Virginia University students and fans alike, as well as some fans from Marymount University. So again, should be a very good matchup. Actually, I had a chance to talk to both teams before the game. First with Coach Tom Peterson of SVU, and talked to him a little bit about slowing down the players I mentioned before, Sam Safley of Marymount University and Remington Shahan. And he said, well, they're just great players, and they're going to be players that will be very hard to slow down. In fact, I'll be surprised if we do slow them down at all, just because of how good quality they are. But just play our game and just execute the best we can. And again, those players are very good. We're just going to have to do our job. And when I talked to Coach Dan Liberto on the other side from Marymount University, he said they simply need to serve tough today. Yesterday was very difficult for them, keeping it in bounds and keeping it in play, and so they'll really be focusing on that. And they want to make SVU predictable. They want to make them uncomfortable. And so starting off is Noel Rickabaran for SVU, serving. And starting things off, that is number 7 for Marymount, Erik Wiles, getting the first point of this match. And that puts Marymount up 1-0. And so number 4, Joseph Zaniolotti, will be serving. And Zaniolotti had a lot of great effort plays yesterday, just all over the floor, saving hits that should have been points for Rutgers Newark, but instead he was able to help his team with just great energy. Now SVU's chance at attack. Colby Wilson not able to get that one to fall. SVU starting off a little bit slow as number 24, James Knight, the senior from Chesapeake, Virginia, able to get that one to fall and give the Saints a 2-0 early lead in this first set. And that's Cougar Clark putting a stamp on this early set. Able to get that one to fall. There was nobody within range of that. And we'll see number 7, Mitch Yusevich for SVU checking in for Daniel Aina. Colby Wilson to serve. Safley with a powerful hit, but a great dig from Noel Rickabaran. Rickabaran able to put it down and tie the set up. That mid-court hit, beautiful set from Kaipo Tagaloa. Beautiful put down from Noel Rickabaran gives Colby Wilson another chance at serving. Tipped up in the air. Wilson to Tagaloa. Another kill for the Knights. That one being number 4, Mark Stapley, the sophomore from Laguna Niguel, California. And so the Knights take a 3-2 lead in this first set. And that goes down for number 7, Erik Wiles. Ties it back up at 3. And Daniel Aina coming back in, and this time for Colby Wilson. And for the Saints, number 7, Erik Wiles, who just got the kill, will be serving. SU looking to attack. Good hit by Mark Stapley, but a great dig from Erik Wiles. Locked out of bounds, and so the kill will go down for number 20, Sam Safley. He had 14 kills. Actually, it will not. It will go down as a point for the Knights, and Kaipo Tagaloa will get to serve, so it puts the Knights up 4-3. But that serve will be long and tie it back up at 4. So number 15, Remington Shahan, the senior from Long Beach, California, to serve. He had a great game yesterday as well, tying Sam Safley with 14 kills against Rutgers Newark. Mitch Yusevich throwing it down, making his name known and giving them a 1-point lead in this first set. And now we'll see Cougar Clark to serve for SVU. He's been a staple in their offense all year long, coming in clutch in many great situations, especially against Kane University just a couple weeks ago when they upset them to move into the top 10 in the rankings. Kaipo Tagaloa with a beautiful dig. And now go down as a kill for number 24, James Knight. James Knight was another player who did a tremendous job against Rutgers Newark, coming in clutch situations. Whenever Rutgers Newark would be pulling in closer, James Knight seemed to be right there to shut it down. James Knight to serve. A solid block from number 4, Joseph Zaniolotti. Noah Rickabarn getting an unfamiliar situation. He's not used to people getting up as high as he can because he's got great hops. But now Marymount will take the lead 6-5. Tipped up by number 11, Jason Perkins' head. And it ends up going down for Marymount. Number 20, Sam Safley with the block. The incredibly improbable play again from Jason Perkins, the freshman from Leesburg, Virginia. Tips the ball, it bounces off his head, and then the Saints are able to get it back over. Take a 2-point lead. Nice placement from Mark Stapley, able to find that far side of that right angle. Able to bring the Knights back within 1. And now Daniel Aina will come back out in favor of Colby Wilson. A very strong serve from Mitch Yusevich. That's something that many teams so far in this tournament have struggled with in this gym, is to keep serves in bounds. We saw that a lot with Marymount University and Rutgers Newark yesterday, as well as with Juniata College in Ramapo. A lot of service errors. Sam Safley to serve. And that goes down as a kill for Noel Rickabarn off the hands of number 4, Joseph Zaniolotti, and number 11, Jason Perkins. And it brings the Knights back within 1. 7-8 is the score. And that'll go down as a kill for number 7, Erik Wiles. Off the hands, I believe that was Colby Wilson of SVU going out of bounds. And so the Saints will extend their lead to 2 points. Also some substitutions here. Number 13, Jacob Martinez comes in to serve for the Saints. We'll also see Remington Shahan check back in for the Saints on the front row. Looks like it could have been out, but the Knights decided to play it anyway. And Noel Rekabaran slamming that one down right in front of James Knight's feet. We'll have some more substitutions. Number 11, Jason Perkins, checking back in for number 13, Jacob Martinez. But then the libero, number 1, Kyle Marcola Gaddis, will come back in. Another serve too far for the Knights. That time it was Noel Rekabaran. And so the Saints will maintain a 2-point lead, up now 10 points to 8. That's going to help the ceiling. Daniel Aina gets under it. Mark Stapley gets it over the net. What an improbable save for the Knights. And that hit goes a little too far outside for number 24, James Knight, and gives a point to SVU. Again, a very improbable play and great effort from Daniel Aina to get out to it once it bounced off the ceiling. Now Colby Wilson to serve. James Knight with authority on the ground. Getting that kill just past Colby Wilson and Cougar Clark. Daniel Aina comes back in for the Knights. And number 7, Erik Wiles, will be back to serve for the Saints. The Saints have held a consistent 2 or 1 point lead throughout this first set. The Knights not quite able to crack it, at least not for very long. Rekabaran right down the middle yet again. Rekabaran loves that middle play, that midline area. When those sets are on target, he's on target, and it's scary to get in front of. Now Kaipo Tagaloa back to serve for the Knights. Shahan gets that kill. It's off the hands of number 7, Mitch Yusevich for SVU. Another 2-point lead for the Saints. And that one goes out of bounds for Remington Shahan and pulls the Knights back within 1. With number 1, Cougar Clark, set to serve. Another serve just too far for the Knights. The Knights trying to put a little bit too much oomph into it early on in this first set. And that costs them another point. Make it a 2-point lead again for the Saints with number 24, James Knight, set to serve. And that one's too far. The Knights and the Saints exchanging service errors. Bring it back within 1. Colby Wilson comes in for Daniel Aina. Mitch Yusevich set to serve. Mitch Yusevich able to save that one. Up for Rekabaran. A good dig from James Knight. Gaddis able to get it up. We got a great rally going on here. Good form by the Knights, but the block goes out of bounds for a point for the Saints. And Daniel Aina comes in for Mitch Yusevich. And number 20, Sam Safley for the Saints, will go back to serve. Another block out of bounds by the Knights, and it will go down as a point for the Saints. And then we'll have a 3-point lead. Got to credit the Knights, though, for getting up and closing those gaps. Just got to make sure to put the ball back down. But again, fortunately for the Saints, that has not worked out for the Knights so far. Blocked straight down by number 11, Jason Perkins, and number 7, Erik Wiles of the Saints. Make it a 4-point lead in this first set. Coach Tom Peterson of Southern Virginia University deciding to call a timeout as the Saints have started to extend their lead and gained some momentum early on in this first set. And again, we're seeing a lot of service errors for the Knights that have caused this 4-point deficit for them. So definitely looking to correct that. But again, we mentioned they've gotten up on those blocks. They've been able to get some good plays set up for Noel Rickabarn as well as for Kruger Clark. And so they got some things going on for them. But on the Saints side, Sam Safley getting in on the action. We haven't seen as much of Remington Shahan as we're used to seeing in this conference tournament. But other plays from Joseph Sanelati, Erik Wiles getting into the action frequently throughout the start of this game. And again, we just want to thank you all on behalf of the Night Sports Network for tuning in today. This is the first fully student-run broadcasting program at Southern Virginia University, bringing you the CVC Conference Tournament this year. And we thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. Again, as we have a timeout here that was called by Tom Peterson of Southern Virginia University. And we hear Kruger Clark here on the SVU sideline saying, let's get back to our game. Let's play with some intensity. Let's get it rolling. And that's exactly what they need to do here as they find themselves down by 4 in this first set. As both teams break their timeout huddles, we will see number 20, Sam Safley, ready to serve for the Saints. A nice hit for the Knights, and that gives them a point, bring the deficit within 3. And we'll see number 4, Mark Stapley, ready to serve for the Knights. And that gives Mark Stapley his second kill of the day as he serves. Beautiful effort by the Knights, but that'll unfortunately be 4 hits as Daniel Aina's effort to slide to the ground not able to get the ball up high enough, and we'll see number 10, Miles Olson, check in for number 11, Jason Perkins of the Saints. As they have a 4-point lead. Stapley diving to get to that one. Put straight down by the Saints. Again, that's a combination of number 10, Miles Olson, and number 7, Erik Wiles. Again, we mentioned the game that Erik Wiles is having so far. He has 3 kills. He's just behind James Knight, number 24 of the Saints, and leading his team in kills. Stapley able to dive for that one again. Kruger Clark. The Saints looking for attack. Solid hit from James Knight yet again. He is on fire today. The power play from Safley proving to be too much for Mark Stapley as it goes out of bounds off of Stapley. And another timeout called by the Knights of Southern Virginia and Coach Tom Peterson to talk things over as they now find themselves down by 6 with the Saints knocking on the door of point number 20 in this first set. And again, the Saints have brought a lot of energy so far. I mentioned both James Knight and Erik Wiles. Also got Sam Safley with 2 kills. Jason Perkins getting on the action with 1 kill. Like we mentioned, Remington Shahan not getting into the action as frequently as we're used to with only 1 kill so far. But on the Knights side, we have Noel Rickabarn, number 12, with 5 kills. Mark Stapley with 2. Kruger Clark only muster up 1 kill so far, but he has 3 digs. And Colby Wilson along with one dig, and a couple of other players like Mitch Yusevich having a kill. And it's been a slower start for the Knights. And so you're starting to see some of the frustration in the Knights' faces here today, again, as they are the number 1 seed in this tournament, and Marymount is the number 4 seed. And we're starting to hear the fan base of SVU get into the action and cause some noise. But if you're Coach Dan Liberto at Marymount University, you couldn't be more proud of the effort that your team is putting forth so far, having a lot of energy, doing a lot of things right, and causing some confusion on the Knights side of things as far as their rotation is concerned. And for the Knights, we'll have number 5, Monte Tsukumoyo, able to check in for the Knights. Oh, excuse me, Tsukumoetu. He will check in for number 4, Mark Stapley. Here, a lot of fans in support of Monte Tsukumoetu. As goes Miles Olson with the serve. Noel Rickabarn rising up, but it's too far outside. The Knights were about to have some substitutions, but decided to change their mind at the last moment, leaving the players they have on the court as number 10, Miles Olson, serving yet again. That goes down as a kill for Noel Rickabarn as Remington Shahan hit it twice as it basically fell into his lap. And the Knights now find themselves again in a 6-point deficit. The Saints have 20 points, the Knights with 14. We'll see another substitution for the Saints. Number 11, Jason Perkins, and for number 10, Miles Olson, who did a great job serving. Also coming in for the Knights is number 32, Elijah Mallory. Now Elijah Mallory has been fantastic for the Knights. In fact, he leads the team in blocks per set with 1.07. He's a great defensive player, great middle blocker, and has had some great impact on plenty of tough games for the Knights. Noel Rickabarn to serve. That one's too far. When we talk about service errors for both teams, the Knights now have 5 service errors in this first set alone. And now we'll see number 5, Monte Tuku Muetu, checking back in for the Knights. As number 4, Joseph Zanialotti, set to serve for the Saints. And that one's out of bounds. Point for the Knights. Make it 15-21. Still in favor of the Saints, but the Knights with a chance with serve. Kobe Wilson, number 10, set to serve, and also number 7, Mitch Yusevich for the Knights, checking in. They're going to call a net violation on the Knights. Make it 22-15 in favor of the Saints. And Colby Wilson will come back out for the Knights. With number 7 on the Saints side of things, Erik Wiles set to serve. A beautiful kill by Cougar Clark at a pivotal moment in this set. Right in that far midcourt corner, and now Mark Stapley checking back in for Tukumuetu. Number 8, Kaipo Taikaloa set to serve for the Knights. And that one goes out of bounds on the Knights. That gives the Knights 6 service errors in this first set. Now Remington Shahan for the Saints set to serve. They have 23 points, knocking on the door of a victory in this first set. And that one goes out of bounds. Again, the Knights and Saints back and forth with service errors. But the Saints still find themselves up by 6, with a score being 23-17. Cougar Clark set to serve. That one hits off the ceiling, and so Erik Wiles has to get to it. James Knight gets it over, so the Knights will have a chance at attack. A little bit of an off serve and an awkward jump by Mark Stapley caused the ball to hit the rod on the way up, making it set point for the Saints. The refs just need to adjust the rod after it was hit there. Make sure that it doesn't fall off. Now number 24, James Knight, set to serve for the Saints. And that one goes right into the net, giving the Knights a little bit more hope in this first set as they now find themselves again down by 6 with Mitch Yusevich set to serve. And a service ace goes down for the Knights. This set has been littered with service errors for them, but finally get a service ace to fall down. That is their first of the game, and the first of the game for both teams, as a matter of fact. And that one's too far out. The story of the set for the Knights as the Saints take the first set of the second round of the CVC tournament, 25-19. The Knights again having some trouble with serving, and it's getting some plays to come together. The Saints have been doing a great job so far in this first set. And with that, we'll take a quick break before the start of the second set. Stay tuned on the Knight Sports Network. And we're back at Rockbridge County High School, the site of the CVC Conference Tournament here in Lexington, Virginia. The number 1 seed Knights of Southern Virginia University taking on the number 4 seed Saints of Marymount University. The Saints able to take the first set 25-19, and a set littered with a lot of SVU serving mistakes and a lot of great energetic play from the Saints. I saw some great plays from Erik Wiles as well as Sam Safley, and just some great work all around as a team unit. James Knight able to get in the action as well. James Knight really being a spark for the Saints so far. But on the Knight side of things, they've also some great outstanding players so far. Noel Rekabarn already having 6 kills so far in this game. Kruger Clark behind him with 2, Mark Stapley with 2, and Mitch Yusevich with 1. And now the Saints looking to pull away in the second set, hoping to get a good advantage on the number 1 seed in the tournament. But the Knights fans here in attendance making it very hard to hear anything right now for everyone in attendance and for the players on the court. Coach Liberto of Marymount University and the Ravs getting all lineup situated as Coach Liberto decided to make some changes. And number 10, Miles Olson, set to serve for the Saints. Now again, to remind you, this is a alternate site hosted by the Knights. And so you get a lot of home crowd action as Noel Rekabarn makes the place erupt with noise as he gets that one to fall, taking an early lead in the second set. And now we'll see number 1, Kyle Marcolo Gaddis, the libero for the Saints, checking in. As number 10 of the Knights, Colby Wilson, set to serve. A little bit of discussion with the refs in the scores table, but now we're set to start up again. The Knights up 1-0. Off the fingertips of Kruger Clark and Kapotagaloa, and then Colby Wilson tried to get it back up, and now the Knights and the Saints are tied back up at 1. Now number 4, Joseph Zaniolotti, the junior from Buffalo, New York, set to serve for the Saints. The serve from Zaniolotti goes out of bounds. Make it 2-1 in favor of the Knights. And joining me today is Athletic Director of SVU, Jason Lamb.
I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Well, I'm right next to you, Jason.
Okay, so I'm not going to hear it in my ear, huh? As long as you say I'm good, I'm good. Is that too loud?
No, you're all good.
I feel really important, all mic'd up with you here.
Well, it's good to have you, Jason.
Sorry, I know we're waiting for your partner in crime to return, so I'm just like filling in here.
Well, it's great to have you.
Enjoy a minute with you. So.
And the Knights find themselves in a bit of a pickle early on, as they are now down 1-0, but they are taking this lead so far 2-1 early on the second set.
Well, there was a car accident out on I-81. My getting here was a little bit tough, so I missed most of that first set, even though I was catching the score while en route. And I got here just to see us lose that first set, but I love the energy of this crowd. I think we've tried to take back a home court advantage. Now we just got to take care of the ball, huh?
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, the Knights have a lot of fans in attendance here today. As a great serve there from number 7, Erik Wiles.
Nice. It's a different gym.
Put down, right back down by number 20, Sam Safley. And you said it right. It's a different gym than the Knights are used to playing in. The Knights used to playing at the barn at Southern Virginia University, but being a neutral site for the CVC tournament hosted by the Knights. But like you said, a lot of great home court advantage here with the energy in this gym. With now number 7, Erik Wiles, set to serve yet again.
So, my takeaway right away, my son played basketball on this gym. Played 3 years on the varsity basketball team. I've never heard it this loud in here ever. And the acoustics in here, I count, we probably got 150 fans in here. Sounds like 1,000. That's going to factor into how we play. Certainly should factor into how they play. I guess it's the first team to get acclimated is going to do well.
Absolutely. Like you said, just Great energy overall from both fan bases. We've seen a couple of Marymount University, mostly Southern Virginia, making a lot of noise right now specifically. But Erik Wiles hit the serve yet again. The Saints have a 5-2 lead in the second set. Smart play from Cougar Clark trying to avoid the block there. And a nice play from Noel Rickabarn to get the kill, bring it to within 2 points.
Anytime we can get Noel off that back line, it's pretty sure he's going to get up above any of those blockers. He has kind of a lot of choice where to spray that ball. I know for me, when I could see him jump off that back line, it's a big difference.
It really is. I mean, when he gets up there, it's almost like he'll never come down. He jumps so high off the ground. Sam Safley able to get that kill, number 20 for the Saints. Bring it back to a 3-point lead for them. As now number 11, Jason Perkins checks in for the Saints with Remington Shahan set to serve. And Shahan for the Saints was one of the players that really stood out for them yesterday as they defeated Rutgers Newark with 14 kills.
Super athlete, a lot of hops. Nice kill, Cougar, nice kill.
It's one thing he's very well known for. I mean, we talk about the jumping ability of Noel Rickabarn. How about the jumping ability of Cougar Clark? He gets up there, he throws it down just about as hard as anybody in this conference.
When he can get to his location, when he can get a really good set, he's going to hammer the ball. There's no two ways about it. The key is getting a good set, good location. First ball is key.
And blocked straight down by the Saints. We absolutely know there's going to be a, looks like the Saints cross the midcourt line underneath the net. And that'll be a point for the Knights, making it a 3-point deficit now.
I'll tell you, the key for me having watched these guys play this much this year, we've got to get comfortable. We got to know this is our home court. These are our home fans. We have got to get to a place where we do what we do.
And a nice kill from Noel Rickabarn. That looks comfortable to me, I'd say so. As Noel able to get to the position he loves the most. It's either that far side or that midline kill that he just loves to get.
You know, we are a really good team. And having watched them as much as I have, when we get to play the way we want to play, it's a good day.
And a great kill right there. That is number 11, Jason Perkins, able to throw that one down.
So I think my debut is over. Here comes your buddy.
Well, thank you so much, Jason Lynn, for
Always
joining
a
us.
pleasure.
Again, the athletic director for Southern Virginia University, joining us as a commentator today, doing a fantastic job filling in.
All right, well, I'm out.
And again, a great there by athletic director Jason Lamb as the Saints get another point here. And set, they're up by 2. A solid serve there from number 24, James Knight. And a solid kill for Cougar Clark of the Knights. Bring it to a 1-point deficit. Now number 4, Mark Stapley for the Knights. The sophomore from Laguna Niguel, California, set to serve for the Knights. And blocked straight down by Colby Wilson and Noel Rickabarn. Tie this thing up at 8. Good setup for the Saints. Blocked straight down by Noel Rickabarn and Colby Wilson. Take the lead in this set for the first time since it was 1-0. And now Mark Stapley set to serve yet again. There's a little bit of confusion here as Mark Stapley was never told that he could serve, and they called the 8-second violation on him. And so a point will go to Marymount. All the fans in attendance saying that the ref never told Mark Stapley that he could serve. All the players on the Knights side pleading their case. As again, like Maple mentioned, there was no whistle to serve. Mark Stapley was waiting for that signal, and it never came. But they're going to keep the call, and it'll tie back up at 9. And so number 20, Sam Safley of the Saints, will be set to serve. And joining me now is Chris Fly, my partner in crime. Great to have you here, Chris.
Dawson's great to be here. It's been a super exciting matchup so far. Knights find themselves down in Marymount so far, keeping the Knights at bay 9-9 here in the second set.
A lot of energy in here right now after that last call. And Colby Wilson able to throw it down.
And Dawson with that last one, Colby Wilson getting a couple of blocks in the game. That's what he's been doing all season, though, for the Southern Virginia University Knights squad. Right there in the middle blocker position. He's one of the top in the nation. Dawson, interesting to see how he's going to continue to match up with some of the great middle hitters of the Saints.
And that's going to be out of bounds, so the Saints will get the points. And so it'll be number 10, Miles Olson, set to serve for the Saints, tied at 10. You can literally cut the tension in this room with a knife, Chris.
Well, Dawson, Southern Virginia did host this, and now the people here at Rockbridge County High School and Rockbridge County and Southern Virginia, so close, able to come here. There's so many people in attendance.
Noel Rickabarin throwing it down and taking back the lead for the Knights.
Dawson, not only that, Rickabarin now 10 kills on the night. Closest person that can really you can compare that to with the Saints is Erik Wiles. He's got 5. So far, Rickabarin, when, again, we say this before, when that ball put up for him, delivering today.
Remington Shahan with the power and authority, slamming it down, tying it back up at 11. And you mentioned Noel Rickabarin, 5 of those kills coming in the first set, and so Noel really heating up in this second set.
And Dawson, that's what he does, averages right around 4.5 kills per set, so already above his season average. But Dawson, the Knights really need to look out for Remington Shahan. We watched the Saints yesterday playing Remington Shahan with that one play right there in the middle. Southern Virginia needs to be weary of it, because when he is hot, it's hard to slow him down.
It really is, because like our athletic director Jason Lamb said just a moment ago, he's a freak athlete. He's able to get up there, he's able to do what he wants, and so SU really needs to limit him. Now number 4, Joseph Zaniolotti set to serve. Service error for the Saints. The Knights had plenty of service errors in that first set, but now it's starting to be Marymount that's having those mistakes.
Well, Dawson, with that last one, that's Marymount's 7th service error. Compare that with Southern Virginia's 9. Team's starting to equal out in terms of from behind the line.
And just like that, another service error for the Knights. It's been a common theme throughout this tournament. Every team that has played in this gym so far for this tournament has had a hard time keeping it in bounds. And
Dawson, that can kind of be attributed to like what we said yesterday when the Saints were playing in so many service errors. This is a new gym. None of the teams have played here before, with the exception of Marymount today. This is their second game here at Rockbridge County High School, but that has to go into it. The atmosphere here is different than any other atmosphere, really, in the CVC.
It really is, and Cougar Clark able to put that one down off the fingertips of number 15, Remington Shahan of the Saints. And so the Knights will tie back up at 13 with Cougar Clark set to serve.
And Dawson, so far Southern Virginia only 1 service ace, but Cougar Clark, one of the top players in the nation from behind the line. You'd have to think sometime throughout this game he's going to start heating up, and when he does, we're going to be right here to call it.
It really will be, and that was number 24, James Knight, able to put it down. James Knight had a good first set when he had 4 kills in that first set, now getting his 5th kill of this game.
And Dawson,
sorry, go ahead, Chris.
Well, Dawson, I was just going to talk about number 24, James Knight, for the Saints. He had a great game in Marymount's first round matchup, ended that game with right around 8 kills. And to already bring it up to 5 here in the second set, he's just picking up where he left off, it seems.
He really is, and the Saints able to get that point to fall as they now take a 2-point lead. Some great effort from Kaipo Tagaloa to try to get after it, but it would end up going under the net. Got some players wiping up the floor here.
And Dawson, it just seems like in the second set, Southern Virginia, they had their sparks of brilliance, but overall not able really to find their groove. The groove they've really been in all season. Give a lot of credit to the Marymount Saints. They come in here and absolutely punch the Knights in the mouth from the get-go. They're in the heads of the Knights. Southern Virginia haven't, like I just said, not been able to get in their groove. They're 1 seed for a reason, top 8 in the nation. Marymount has to be careful and really keep the Knights at bay in that aspect, because as soon as that switch is flipped, it's almost done for the Saints.
It really can be scary because the Knights, they are a slower starting team. So they start to heat up later on, just like in that play just then. The Knights able to get it to fall, bring it back within 1. And now number 7, Mitch Yusevich, will be set to serve for the Knights. And Mitch Yusevich, actually a newer father, had his first child right before their game against the King University Cougars, before they upset them at Southern Virginia University. A nice kill from Noel Rickabar, and that brought the life to the fans here of Southern Virginia University in attendance.
Dawson, you have so many fans from SVU, but walking around the parking lot just for the game, you saw a number of Marymount Saints fans here in attendance as well. So if you could say it was an even battle, that wouldn't be necessarily correct. Southern Virginia farly outweighing the Saints fans, but kudos to both fan bases for making their way out here.
Absolutely, coming here to support their players, whether it be their own children, their friends, their siblings, whatever the case may be. All people coming out here, and that hit going out of bounds for the Saints. Point will go to the Knights, give them a 1-point lead.
And Dawson, the Saints looked up, tried to find Safley. Safley not having his best game so far. He has 4 kills, but also 4 arrows. That'll keep his hit percentage right at really 0. He had such a great game in their first round matchup, but so far Southern Virginia keeping Safley at bay.
Absolutely, and Mitch Yusevich getting that service ace. They're starting to heat up, and now we'll have a timeout here for the Saints of Marymount as they're trying to discuss how to take back the momentum that they had just moments ago.
And Dawson, this timeout is well needed. Head coach Dan Liberto of the Marymount Saints, in his second season, experienced in this kind of coaching, in this kind of break taking. They need this break to talk things over, because so far they're giving up a lot of points to Southern Virginia, really due to the great outside hitting of SVU and also to the poor outside hitting of Sam Safley and some other of the Marymount Saints. Just needs to get into their heads a little bit more precise on the hits and the assists, and you're right back in this one.
And talking about Marymount, they had a couple players on their roster make it to all CVC honors, including the 2 players we talked most about, number 20 Sam Safley and number 15 Remington Shahan, both of them making second team all CVC honors, and we've seen why in the past 2 days.
And Dawson, completely well-deserved for both of these players. Number 20, Sam Safley, number 15, Remington Shahan. You could almost make an argument that Sam Safley should have made it into the first team ballot over a couple of names that were listed there, but it was just a phenomenal season for Safley. And Remington Shahan, he's just probably the most consistent player on the floor at all times for both sides. On that one play at that middle blocker / middle hitter position, well-deserved second team for both guys. But again, both of these players could have made an argument for all CVC first team.
He absolutely could have. And now Mitch Yusevich set to serve for the Knights. The Knights with a 2-point lead in the second set. And that'll hit the ground. I believe that was number 11, Jason Perkins, getting that one to fall. Bring it back within 1. A lot of Knights fans not liking that, as they're saying that the Knights were able to get underneath it.
Well, Dawson, it looked like one of the Knights players, I couldn't exactly see who it was from this angle, but looked like he got down, got the dig, able to put it back up, back into play. Referee's obviously thinking differently, and it'll go down as the second kill for Jason Perkins, the freshman from Leesburg.
Now number 24, James Knight of the Saints, set to serve. Colby Wilson able to get it to fall. This famous pin play that he just loves to run to perfection every single game, night in, night out. He did so just then again.
It's just so effective when it comes off Colby Wilson's hand. Throughout the entire season, if you look up Colby Wilson highlights, it's going to be the pin play. They always run it, comes back to the outside, and hits it cross court.
Nice effort from Kaipo Tagaloa to save that one. But too far for Cougar Clark. And now it's only a 1-point lead for the Knights, with number 20, Sam Safley of the Saints, serving. It is humid in this gym today, and so that's why you're seeing a lot of these breaks to wipe up the floor, make sure that no player slips and hurts himself. The officials at the CVC tournament being very extra careful to take care of the players.
Well, Dawson, they have to do that because, yes, it's a CVC tournament, but a lot of these teams have their eyes focused on something more. A lot of these teams in recognition, in the running for going to the NCAA Division III tournament, the national tournament, after this is concluded. Referees know that. They keep that in mind. They have some of the top programs in the nation within the CVC, and they just want to keep these players healthy, not hurt, and able to go and fulfill their fullest potential.
And now number 12, Noel Rickabarn set to serve for the Knights. Wiles is blocked from Colby Wilson and Kapotagaloa. And that will go down for Jason Perkins. Jason Perkins gets his 4th kill of the game.
Well, Dawson, the freshman Perkins, stepping up big in the last couple of points. No small task. He's going up against some great middle blockers and players for the Knights. Experienced players, Colby Wilson, senior, Cougar Clark, junior, sophomore, right there in that region. So what a game it has been for Perkins.
A great kill for Noel Rickabarn right in the middle of the court like he has loved it all game long. And we'll have some substitutions now with number 1, the libero Kyle Markolo Gaddis, coming in for the Saints.
And Dawson, we talk about phenomenal sophomores and underclassmen. How about number 12, Noel Rickabarn, for the Southern Virginia Knights, only a sophomore, yet one of the top players in the nation and a candidate for probably first-team All-American.
As no one falls down for number 7, Erik Wiles. You mentioned Noel Rickabarn. He's just got some great athletic ability. He has 277 kills on the season and just done a fantastic job for the Knights. But Erik Wiles is having himself a great game here today. That is now 6 kills for Wiles.
And Dawson, even more impressive than that, the 6 kills, the .857 hit percentage, just everything he's touched is absolutely turned to gold.
Another kill for Noel Rickabarn and the Knights as they extend their lead to 21-19, knocking on the door of a victory this second set. Kaipo Tagaloa set to serve for the Knights. And now the Saints of Marymount will have some duties to take care of, wiping down the floor on their side.
And Dawson, more than that, it gives head coach Dan Liberto of the Saints an opportunity to really talk to his guys. Yet they're still there on the floor. Just saw him having a word there with number 15, Remington Shahan. They need to slow down the outside hitting of Southern Virginia. Southern Virginia is just hitting it so hard and tough right now. And you want to see your middle blockers fulfill their fullest potential, and maybe just giving Remington Shahan just a little bit of coaching. It's probably absolutely well needed the way the Southern Virginia is going right now.
Absolutely, and there's something we haven't seen in a while in this set, a service error for the Knights. It littered their first set, and it was their downfall, but this set they've done a lot better job at that. Now number 7, Erik Wiles. Way too far for the Saints. And now it's 22-20 in favor of the Knights.
And Dawson, the 3 points leading up to a match point, 2 points leading up to a match point, those are the most crucial points within a set. When you get those, the first person to 23 really has the upper hand in every circumstance.
And so the Saints able to pull within 1. This one's going to go down to the wire as both teams are in the 20s with Remington Shahan set to serve. Noel Rickabarn putting another kill on his score sheet.
And Dawson, that's Rickabarn's 13th kill of the afternoon, having himself a whale of a game only in the second set. Doing the math right here, it's right around 6.5 per set, 2.5 above his normal average.
Mitch Yusevich with the service ace for the Knights. Make it set point in the second set. And a timeout by the Saints.
Dawson, I was just about to say, success coming in the most unlikely of areas for the Knights. Mitch Yusevich, not known for his phenomenal service ability. He can hold his own back there, but definitely not one of the top guns on this Southern Virginia Knights team. But able to get it done. Hit another service ace for this Southern Virginia squad. That brings them 3 on today, and 2 of them just in the last couple of points, because coming into the second set, they only had 1.
He's been doing a phenomenal job again. What a turnaround as far as service is concerned for the Knights. And now the Saints, talking to their coach, Dan Liberto. Dan Liberto has been doing a great job with this team all year long, and great job yesterday against Rutgers Newark. They really held it together in a tight matchup. And so the Saints will see if they can come back and take the second set. Of course, down by 3 with the Knights knocking on the door with set point. Almost unlikely at this point.
Dawson, you say unlikely, but again, anything can happen. Yesterday when we were looking at the Roadrunners facing off against Juniata, back and forth the entire game, but one team would always prevail in the end. It looks like it is going to be SVU at the end of this second set, bring it 1-1, but again, anything can happen. We've seen Marymount come back from steeper, so we'll see what happens.
And now both teams breaking the timeout huddle. We're hearing a lot of noise from the SVU faithful here in attendance. And now Mitch Yusevich will be set to serve, set point. And now will be a service error. So right after he has a service ace, he'll have a service error, making it 24-22 with Marymount's number 24, James Knight, set to serve.
Dawson, James Knight, not known for his serving, but like Yusevich, holds his own back there.
A beautiful tip from Noel Rickabarn. It looks like he's about to slam it home like he usually does, but very smartly decides to just simply tap it over, give it a little love tap.
Who else to do it, Dawson? Rickabarn just furthering his numbers on today. Dawson, I believe that's Rickabarn's 15th kill, and you can't really call that a kill, just tipping it over. That's more of tucking it in and putting it to bed.
It really is. The Knights take care of business in this second set and tie things up at 1 set apiece with a score 25-22 in that second set. And with that, we'll take a short break. We'll be right back with you once the third set starts in this exciting matchup.
Welcome back to Knight Sports Network's coverage of CVC semifinals. Southern Virginia Knights taking on the Marymount Saints. Chris Fry alongside Dawson Weidrich. And Dawson, at the end of the regular season, Southern Virginia themselves ending up with some all CVC honors.
They had a lot of players that have fantastic seasons overall. We'll start off with Cougar Clark, making first team. Was second at team in kills per set with 3.26. And then you have Noel Rickabarn, 77 in kills in the regular season. Then Colby Wilson. We've talked about the great effort that he has, great leadership he has. Kaipo Tagaloa, he's doing a great job with assists. He obviously leads his team with assists with 9.87 per set. then Daniel Aina also making second team honors. And Daniel Aina also winning the award for CVC Libero of the Year. And so he did a fantastic job there at the libero position. Also been a great leader for this Knights team.
And Dawson, he got that because of his great work on the defensive side. But don't forget head coach of the Southern Virginia Knights, Tom Peterson, racking up CVC Coach of the Year, able to turn the Southern Virginia program around, get him to a nationally formidable ranks. Great job, the head coach Peterson.
And again, the Knights only in their third season of team existence, and so the Knights able to grow very quickly. But the Saints doing a great job today as the number 4 seed and keeping the Knights on their toes. They were able to take that first set away and will make the second set very interesting. But now we'll see how they can do here.
Well, Dawson, the Marymount Saints really able to punch the Knights in the mouth. They tied it up 1-1. Southern Virginia able to win that second one. We'll see if the momentum continues to carry with SVU. We'll see how it gets underway. Noel Ruckabarn to start off the third set. Attack coming now from the Saints. Wiles. Dawson, some quick thinking by number 8, Kaiko Tagaloa, resulting in another point for the Knights.
And also confusion by the Saints as well, as Remington Shahan not quite aware of where that ball was going, and at the last second realized he had just touched it. He couldn't touch it again, causing that play to fall for the Knights.
Second serve now coming from number 12, Noel Ruckabarn. And Dawson, what a game Ruckabarn has had today. 15 kills on the afternoon. That point goes down for SVU. Shahan trying to get it over. Just couldn't get it over the net, bounced out.
Couldn't quite get there. At first it might have looked like it got off the hands of Kobe Wilson, but instead it simply touched the top of the net and rolled over.
Ruckabarn now, third straight service. Service error by the sophomore, make it 2-1. Southern Virginia still has a 1-point lead over top of the Marymount Saints. And Dawson, these two teams very familiar with each other, faced each other early in the year. And that time, Southern Virginia won in 3 straight sets. So you have to be impressed if your head coach Dan Lamberto to come in here and take a set off the number 8 team in the nation and the number 1 seed in this tournament.
And it just shows the adjustment that Coach Dan Lamberto has been able to make so far this season. He's been doing great at that, switching up rotations, switching up lineups, and figuring out what works. And so far, it has worked so far confusing the Knights.
And Dawson, it seems like he might have to make another change of strategy because so far Southern Virginia, they lead 3-1, but the momentum appears to be on the side of the Knights. And Dawson, not after that, another service error for SVU, keeps it at a 1-point game, 3-2.
And that makes it 15 service errors for the Knights so far today.
Erik Wiles for the Marymount Saints, senior from Virginia Beach, Virginia. He's been the guy that stepped up, Dawson, when it seems like Sam Safley hasn't been able to get going.
It's a great effort there from Daniel Aina to try to go after, but you're absolutely right. You know, there's just a lot of great role players on this Saints team that can really step up. Again, we mentioned Erik Wiles. Erik Wiles just really having himself a heck of a game. Erik Wiles leading the team in kills with 6 kills, and he's also up to serve right now.
Dawson, Saints take the lead. Here in the third set, Erik Wiles with a service ace for the Marymount Saints brings them up 4-3 over top of the number 1 Southern Virginia Knights, 1 seed, that should say.
And that was beautifully placed, right between Daniel Aina and Noel Ruckabarn, and they really had no communication there as it went right between them.
Now Southern Virginia an opportunity to attack. That's what they can do, Dawson. Not one player on this Southern Virginia squad is who they go to. They find everyone they can. Ruckabarn, yes, he does have 15 kills, but everyone appears on this Knight squad getting it done when their name is called upon. Oh, that time Sam Safley, junior from Santa Clarita, California, had a slow start, Dawson, but able to get that one to fall.
And you know, we say slow start, but he's still won leaders of kills on his team so far, and that gives him his 5th one. And so again, we say it's a slow start, but he's still playing a great game.
Saints having to 3 it over. Still with the Knights. And Dawson, it seems, whenever the Knights put it up to one of their outside hitters, it more often than not finds the woodwork and goes down for a point. What can the Saints do to slow down the high-powered offense so far? They're still right in it, but they've had a hard time slowing down the Knights' offense.
Well, one thing that we talked about when I talked to Coach Liberto was they wanted to make the Knights predictable. They wanted to make them readable. And in the first set, they did a good job of that. But lately, the Knights have been doing a lot better at switching it up and getting some different looks.
And getting a look there, that time Sam Safley. So Safley now with 2 points in a row keeps the Saints up 6-5 over top of the Southern Virginia Knights. Now back to serve number 24, James Knight, the senior from Chesapeake, Virginia, who in their last game in the first round had a phenomenal start and finish when he was called upon. That time hitting it just a little bit wide, brings it back even 6-all. Southern Virginia, Marymount Saints tied up. That time, Dawson, I believe that was number 11, Jason Perkins, putting that one down.
Perkins is another player that's really stepped up for the Saints. That gives him his 5th kill of the game. And so you have a lot of great Saints players doing some great work. Erik Wiles was 6, Sam Safley was 6, James Knight was 6, and now Jason Perkins with 5.
Service ace that time for Safley and the Saints. Put them up 2-point lead, 8-6 over top of the Southern Virginia Knights. And Dawson, a player in for the Saints that we don't necessarily say his name too much. Number 1, Kyle McCullough-Gattasi. Libero, freshman, 5'9" from Ashburn, Virginia. I'm sure you and our great athletic director, Coach Lamb, talked about the fact that Chris Manganello, the starting libero for the Saints, out today with a concussion.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit, and so doing a great job at coming in here and substituting for him and doing a great job.
That time, Southern Virginia putting another one down. Now only a 1-point game. Saints lead 8-7 over top of the Southern Virginia Knights. And now number 4, Mark Stapley, back to serve for SVU. Sophomore from Laguna Niguel, California. That time, Wiles. Thought about it just for a second, but said it was just a little bit too far gone.
Now just couldn't have been much closer in without being inbounds. So a very fortunate situation for the Knights as nobody was able to be back there.
Mark Stapley again. Somehow able to keep it alive. Look for Wiles. It'll go down as a kill for Wiles, Dawson, but really a blocking error off the Southern Virginia Knights. And Erik Wiles continues to be the spark plug for this Saints team. That is his 7th kill of the night.
He really has. He stepped up whenever Sam Safley hasn't really been seen and whenever Remington Shahan hasn't really been seen. Remington Shahan, I mean, he has 4 kills, but at the same time, compared to yesterday, he's playing below.
Block goes down for SVU.
Man, it is deafening in here, Chris.
Now back to serve number 12, Noel Rekabaran. Service error again by Southern Virginia, and Dawson. Saints have not been able to slow down the attack of SVU much of this 3rd set. It seems like the Knights becoming their own undoing.
They really are. I mean, the Saints, I mean, you know, they've just been have such a great effort all game long. I mean, there have been times when the Knights have really gotten the momentum, but that's gone back to the Saints. And it's just been a classic back and forth battle. It's been every single game of this tournament so far.
Another point goes down for the Southern Virginia Knights. That time, Cougar Clark. Just wide by Wilson. keep the Saints up by 1. 11-10 is the score here in the middle parts of the third set. Teams tied up 1 set apiece. Now back to serve number 7, Erik Wiles. Wiles. What a dig it was by number 1, Kyle Marcola-Gattasi. But they're trading off highlight plays that time, Aina. That time, Sam Safley putting it down again for the Saints. Dawson, Sam Safley picked it up here in this third set. Not playing overly aggressive, but being extremely smart with his placement.
They really are, because when push comes to shove, if you try to play aggressively and the Knights playing aggressively, with the talent the Knights have, they're going to win that battle of using the same strategy. And so the Saints have gone back to the basics, gone back to what they're good at. They're a very smart team, very capable and very precise. And so when they play like that, and they play like they are capable of themselves, they're a hard team to stop, as evident by so far having the lead in this third set.
That one way long from Wiles. But Dawson Saints still have the lead despite it. 12-11 is the score. Checking back in this game, number 4, Mark Stapley. And Dawson checking out of that game was number 5, Monty Tukumoyatu, the senior from Salt Lake City, Utah. Don't see him very much, but he just got some CVC tournament experience.
He did. He got a little bit in the first set, but we hadn't seen him much since, as the Knights are trying to switch things up when they weren't quite in a groove. But whenever they want to switch things up, Tukumoyatu is a great guy to substitute in there because he brings a lot of energy. He's a great supporter of his teammates, and he just works his tail off every day.
Now we'll see number 15, Remington Shahan of the Saints. Back to serve. Another service error for the Marymount Saints, Dawson. That brings their total today to 12 service errors.
Yeah, service errors have really been a story for both teams. I mean, combining now for 28 service errors and just 2.5 sets.
Ball up in the rafters. Still alive. Falls just inside the side of the Saints. Dawson, the rafters coming into play a little bit there. Not much the Saints could do on that last one.
No, really not much you can do at all. When the ball gets that far into the net, it's so hard to dig it back out, especially in your third hit when you have to get it over. I mean, unless you have a mad spin on the ball, which in that situation is just impossible for them to get.
That'll tie things back up, 13-all. Dawson, what a showing it has been so far for the 4 seed Saints of Marymount going up against the 1 seed in the Southern Virginia Knights.
It really has been. They came here ready to play. They came here ready to make some noise. They came here knowing they were the underdog. And there's almost an advantage to being the underdog because, I mean, there's a chip on your shoulder. You have something to prove. And it just fills you with this motivation and energy they likewise or otherwise would not have had.
Also, Dawson, nothing to lose. At that time, the Saints putting another point on the board, proving to be an irritant for this Southern Virginia squad. James Knight back to serve, senior from Chesapeake, Virginia. Saints up 14-13. Dawson, Sam Safley able to do there what the Southern Virginia Knights could not do, which was put a point away. Southern Virginia 2 attacks within that point alone compared to Marymount just having 1 and getting it done.
Well, blocking on the outside has been very difficult for the Knights today. They've had a hard time getting it back down. It's all been going out of bounds.
And Dawson, it seemed that within this third set, whenever either squad has an opportunity to pull away by more than 2 points, they shoot themselves in the foot with a service error. That's been the story, really, of the third set.
It's been the story of the third set and the entire tournament. I mean, I feel like the largest lead that we've seen in a game in the past 2 days has been 6 points.
And Dawson, that game where we saw that was where Juniata was taking on Ramapo, and those 2 teams, a 3 seed and a 6 seed, so you expect to see it in that, not when you're watching a 4 seed going up against a 1 seed. Either way, Saints lead 16-14. Now back to serve number 20, Sam Safley. Safley really picked up his game just in the last couple of points and in this set. But a service error goes down for the junior.
Again, we see that shooting themselves in the foot yet again.
Attack coming from the Saints. Safley. What a dig it was by Aina. Knights able to keep alive despite Kaipo Tagaloa running all the way right here in the booth, Dawson. We were eyeball to eyeball with junior Kaipo Tagaloa.
I mean, my goodness. I mean, mine was probably there because we see Kaipo Tagaloa coming at us. And when a player of this caliber of any of these teams comes running at you, you don't want to be in the way.
It'll go down, though, Dawson, as a point for the Saints. And back serve number 10, Miles Olsen. My, oh, my. Kaipo Tagaloa running full sprint. Dawson, I expected the players to be the only ones sweating today, not myself.
And he did some damage to this table, too, moving a couple inches. He was moving.
Attack coming for the Knights. That time, Reckabar and Dawson, no doubt about that one. Knights bring it within one, 17-16. Marymount still up, one set apiece per team.
I mean, the only thing you need to know about Noel Reckabaran is seeing clips like that, like 5-second clips of just that right there throughout the season. That is the definition of Noel Reckabaran right there. The power and athletic ability of getting up there and throwing it down.
Now it's off from San Juan, Argentina, back to serve for the Knights. Foot violation against Noel Reckabaran and Dawson. Another free point given up by the Southern Virginia Knights. And another opportunity for the Saints to take a 3-point lead. But Dawson, if history repeats itself, we'd see another service error. Of course, head coach Dan Liberto wants to avoid that at all costs. Back to serve number 4, Joseph Zanalotti. Smart play, Kaipo Tagaloa. Dawson seems like that run into the scorer's table didn't shake him up but too much.
Oh, he definitely did not. He had a very accurate tip. He looked at the last second where he's going to hit it, and he said, hey, right there. I am putting it right there, and he did it.
18-17, Marymount leads. Dawson, it's been a while since the Southern Virginia Knights have had a lead change here. And Dawson deliberating of who that ball went off of. Knights trying to say that it went off the head of Erik Wiles after the block.
Some disputations between both coaches, Tom Peterson and Dan Liberto, about the situation. But again, it'll be settled as a point for Marymount.
Dawson, you had the referee on the stand saying one thing and the official on the floor saying another. So just two disagreements there just on the court, and it leads to a Marymount point. Just on the line, Marymount now up 20-17.
Hearing a lot of boos here from the crowd in attendance.
It'll force head coach Tom Peterson of the Southern Virginia Knights to take a timeout. Dawson, a couple of unsavory calls don't go your way. You find yourself now down by 3 against a lower-seeded team in the Marymount Saints.
Well, this set is huge. This set is huge as far as momentum is concerned. A lot of players say that the third set is a killer in momentum. If you give up the third set, it takes away so much wind out of you. Win that, almost you can't ever really recover. Now the Knights, again, are a very great team, very great athleticism, very great players fundamentally. So what they need to do is they need to collect themselves, forget about the past calls that maybe they do or don't agree with, and just move on and play their game. Whereas if you're Marymount, you're happy with how things are going. Some calls are going your way. You're serving really well. You have some great plays by Safley and the Erik Wiles as well, and just keep that up.
And Dawson, the Marymount Saints leading 20-17, and what a job they have done to come in here. This is the second game they've played within 24 hours. You're taking on the number 1 seed. No one expects you to come out of this with a win or even take a set, and you're on the verge of being able to take 2 away from the 7th-ranked team in the nation, the Southern Virginia Knights. Getting things started again. Number 7, Erik Wiles. Crucial couple of points for both squads now. Marymount looking to take it. Southern Virginia looking to stay in it. Zanalotti. James Knight again, getting it to fall for the Marymount Saints. He's been extremely efficient so far this game.
He really has. I mean, that's his 7th kill of the game, and that one was perfectly telegraphed. Perfect bullet shot right in the opening of the Knights defense.
Another service ace, though, for the Saints. Erik Wiles putting on a show in Dawson. That is the Saints' 4th service ace of the night. It is going to force head coach Tom Peterson to take another timeout. 2 timeouts in quick succession for head coach Tom Peterson, CVC Coach of the Year.
Yeah, his team's in real great danger of losing this 3rd set and being down 2-1. Like we mentioned, how big of a momentum shifter that is. But these fans here for SVU in attendance here are going to make as much noise as they can in the next couple moments to give their team the added boost that they need to come back here and take the set. Because again, it's such an important set.
Such an important set, and an important set for both teams. If you're Marymount, you obviously want to win. You want to take this 2nd set. You move up a set above and set in hand over top of the Southern Virginia Knights. And then you just got to win one more, and you can advance to the final, the CVC final tomorrow right here in Rockbridge County High School. And they'll face the winner of the following game that'll take place at the conclusion of this one as Kane takes on the Eagles of Juniata. But Dawson, all eyes on this matchup. Southern Virginia, the number 1 seed in this tournament, find themselves down against the number 4 seed in the Saints of Marymount, 22-17, right here in the 3rd set.
And again, the Saints came here to play today. They came here, like you mentioned before, to hit SVU in the mouth. And in a couple ways, the Knights have been able to take it, but the Saints have had a lot of momentum from the early energy that they brought into this arena today.
Erik Wiles, an opportunity, making a 6-point lead for the Saints. Wiles, attack coming from the Southern Virginia Knights. Just inside for Cougar Clark, point for the Knights. And Dawson, you have to do that time and time again to get back in this set if you're SVU.
You really do, and I mean, Cougar Clark does those plays at the perfect time. He has been so clutch all year long. I mean, just even referring to their game against Kane University just a few weeks ago. He had plays like that in the tight 5-set match where he would just put a bullet in there and get a couple kills and extend leads, take momentum back, and he's did a tremendous job of doing that all season long.
And Dawson on that last play, another disagreement with officials. You just saw this line judge closest to us say that was too long coming from Safley. Everyone else said it was in. At least a 23-18 lead for the Saints. And Dawson, crunch time for both of these teams. Southern Virginia needs to stay in it. That time Mitch Yusevich putting it down, and Dawson, that's what the Knights need to do. They don't want to give up a set to the Marymount Saints squad. They don't want to go down 2-1. This Knights team, you said they started off slow, but they can't get in their own heads. If they want to continue to dominate, they had the entire season. He'll call it in for Yusevich, and again, Dawson, another just clash of ideas from the officials.
You know, Mitch Yusevich really coming to his own the past couple plays. The great block and then the kill right there. He's making a statement right now. He's a senior on this team saying, ain't no way we're losing this game.
Zanalotti, he'll look for Safley. Point goes down for Sam Safley. Set point opportunity for the Marymount Saints to move up 2-1 over top of the number 1 seeded Southern Virginia Knights in the 7th ranked team in the nation. All in the hands of number 24, James Knight, senior from Chesapeake, Virginia. Still alive for the Saints. Safley. Knight. Knight's able to keep it alive. Just on the side of the Knights. Cougar Clark not getting that one to fall.
And that is huge. We got to mention again, as the Saints take a 2-1 set lead over the Knights. The Knights really need a rebound game in this 4th set.
And Dawson, if you're the Saints of Marymount, what do you need to do to continue to dominate the way you have in this game? Take a set above and win this game against the Knights and hopefully move on to the championship where, again, they'll face the winners of the Eagles of Juniata and the Cougars of Kane immediately following this game.
And you know, whoever faced up against those two teams, that's a tough game. Because Juniata College, we saw them yesterday. Quinn Peterson had himself a fantastic game. I mean, there wasn't much you can say besides just a phenomenal game. They did a great job. Again, Ramapo did a great job of sticking around, but Juniata College really took care of business. But Kane University, another formidable opponent. I mean, they've been in the top 10 all year long and have just been dominating. They have the player of the year in Ian Kapp. for Kane University, and so a very formidable opponent no matter which way you look at it.
And Dawson, that should be a really exciting matchup between the Eagles of Juniata and the Cougars of Kane, because Kane, you mentioned that they were a top-ranked team in the nation the entire season. They're in the top 10 right now, reaching as high as even to get number 3 and get 2 votes to be the number 1 team in the nation. Juniata, nationally acclaimed as well. We're in the top 25 for a majority of the season. Just a month and a half ago, got knocked off. So 2 nationally acclaimed programs facing off right after the conclusion of this one. But again, Dawson, all eyes on this matchup. The winner of this will go on to the championship. And right now, the Saints have a 2-1 lead over top of the Southern Virginia Knights.
And so again, what the Knights need to do, they need to get out of their own heads. They need to serve strong, receive serves well, and they simply need to get to Cougar Clark and Noel Rekabarin. When they've gotten to them successfully with great sets, they've done well. And also, Mitch Yusevich has proven to be a very useful tool for the Knights, especially late in that last set.
And Dawson, you mentioned what the Knights need to do offensively. What can Southern Virginia do defensively, really to slow down the amazing production of Sam Safley? He came into that third set only having right around 4 kills, then ended it with 12.
Well, one thing that when I talked to Tom Peterson of SVU, I asked him about slowing down the main players for Marymount, and he said, well, they're just great players. I mean, there's not much we can do to slow them down personally. We just need to simply execute our own game plan, serve well, receive serves well, do our plays right, the way we drew them up. And again, they're very good players. What you can do is simply just get out of your head, play your game fundamentally.
And Dawson, we've seen a lot of questionable calls, or at least clash of ideas in terms of the officiating crew today. You have to feel for them a little bit. They're in a situation, 2 very hard-hitting teams with a lot of real gunners on both sides that can hit with a lot of muster behind it. So, yes, there can be an excuse for those calls, but at the same time, you've got to be accurate and precise with all your calls.
Absolutely. And again, we do have a great officiating crew here today. They picked the best here for the CVC. Nothing but the best for one of the greatest conferences in men's college volleyball in the nation.
Dawson, both teams making the way back on the court. Right now, the Saints have a 2-1 lead in terms of sets over top of the Southern Virginia Knights. And Dawson, if things continue the way they have, their Marymount Saints could look at an opportunity to make it into the finals tomorrow. Get things started, number 10, Miles Olson, freshman from Fresno, California, standing at 6'1". They'll call it in for the Southern Virginia Knights, but Dawson, another just lack of precision with a call.
Well, it was a very tough call, I will give her that. I mean, it was very close, but I think she made the right decision. It was on the line. It did scrape that back line a little bit. Good call.
Now number 8, Kaipo Tagaloa back to serve for the Southern Virginia Knights. Service errors by Tagaloa. But Dawson, while we're on the topic of Kaipo Tagaloa, we all know Ian Kapp of Kane won setter of the year. But you have to think Kaipo Tagaloa made his own argument for that. He's one of the top players in the nation, an assist per set. Diggs had a couple of kills on the year. He's been a formidable force and major part of that Knights offense.
He really has. You could definitely make an argument that he could have been in that conversation. Because again, like you said, he averaged 9.87 assists per set.
That time, Noel Rekabarin bring the Southern Virginia Knights up 2-1 over top of the Marymount Saints. Now Cougar Clark back to serve. The Southern Virginia team, Dawson, just trying to get their wits about them after what they faced in that third set.
Oh, man. What a block right there by Mitch Yusevich. I'm telling you, he's the key for the Knights right now. If he plays well, this Knights team can turn this thing around.
Well, Dawson, so far, Yusevich had 3 kills on the day total, 2 total blocks, so he's been making his presence known. Service errors by Cougar Clark. Keep the Saints in it. 1-point game, 3-2.
That brings the service errors to 19 for the Knights. A total, I believe this is 33 service errors for both teams combined.
Too far over the net for liking of James Knight. Another point for the Saints, and it's 3-3.
We haven't said his name lately. In the first set, he was very prevalent in that victory in that first set. But since he's been a little quiet, the key for the Saints to pull away with this is using James Knight.
Kept it alive, both teams fighting for it. Zanalotti, he'll look for Safley. Too far out of the reach of every Southern Virginia Knight. Dawson Safley heating up more and more as this game goes long. 13 kills on the afternoon.
He's really started to heat up, especially in the last set. He really started to come into himself and play like he's capable of. I mean, he was all CVC for a reason.
How about Mark Stapley?
Another fantastic set. He's another player that's been kind of quiet for the Knights.
Sam Safley responding. Remington Shahan now back to serve for the Marymount Saints. Dawson, both teams high-powered offenses flexing their muscle on one another. Kill after kill. Not into the floor, but right into the chest of the opposition.
Yeah, you see Mark Stapley start to heat up a little bit. And again, both teams really bringing everything they have in this fourth set because you both have equal motivation. If you're the Saints, you're thinking upset time. If you're the Knights, you're thinking, no upset right now. We cannot afford that. I see a great block right there.
Well, Dawson, it was a great block, but unfortunately just landed wide. Point goes to the Southern Virginia Knights, 6-5 SVU leads. But like you said, a wonderful job by number 11, Jason Perkins and Joseph Zanalite to get up on that and contest Noel Rekabar. Not an easy feat. Well, that time, number 24, James Knight responding. Keep it even, 6-6. Dawson back and forth the entirety of this fourth set.
Yeah, literally no one able to pull away from more than 1 point. I mean, it's been tied this whole time between 2 and 3 points, fluctuating in that way. But now, literally neck and neck right now.
Knight able to keep it alive. Zanalotti will look over for Safley. Quick thinking, clever move, Kaipo Tagaloa.
That was a great job of Tagaloa, but also a great job by Noel Rekabar in backing up that block and then getting it back up there. A perfect setup for Kaipo Tagaloa.
And Dawson, there must be such an asset to have a setter like Tagaloa who not only can set up your teammates, but also find his own points and shots. That there, Dawson, that's number 15 for Sam Safley.
He's catching up on Noel Rekabaran, who has 18, and so Safley going to 15 takes second place in the kills category for both teams.
After collecting the kill and tying it up 7-7, Sam Safley back behind line. 4 service for the Marymount Saints. 1 service ace on the day for Safley. Wide, Mark Stapley. Saints gain the lead.
And the Knights are looking for Mark Stapley more often because, again, early on in the set, he has shown his ability to put it down and help his team.
Rekabar and Dawson, 19 for the sophomore from San Juan.
My goodness, right down the middle. He's had, I believe, if not half his kills or more have been from that middle position right there. Perfectly set up right down the middle.
Zanalite. Safley able to keep it alive. Saints bargaining for it. Jason Perkins, Dawson. Remember the name, a freshman.
The freshman going up against the first team All-CVC senior for SVU and putting it down with the block. Very, very impressive. Sorry, junior for SVU and Cougar Clark.
Saints hold their 9-8 lead. Too strong off the hands of Yusevich. But Dawson lucky for the Knights. Tipped off fingertips. What I believe was Sam Safley of the Saints bring it 9-9.
I believe he barely tipped it and the ref able to see it.
Dig by Clark. Knights keep it alive. Stapley. Point goes down for Southern Virginia, and it was great play by Tagaloa Cougar Clark, able to keep it alive for Southern Virginia.
I mean, Tagaloa is on the ground, on his stomach, and able to get the set up into the air for the Knights. Incredible play by Tagaloa.
Zanalotti, look for Wiles. Blocked back down. Senior Miss Yusevich, Dawson.
The Knights really feeling it right now. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, this is the biggest lead for anybody in this set. 2 points, and that's, my goodness.
Zanalotti. Just wide by Shahan and Dawson. Knights finally break that inability to lead by more than 2. Now lead by 3. Head coach Dan Liberto of the Saints forced to take a timeout. His guys have fought hard throughout this 4th set. But the last couple of points, Southern Virginia has pulled away with great offensive play and limiting the errors.
They've limited their errors, and they just had great hustle and effort plays. I mean, I mentioned the play by Kaipo Tagaloa earlier, and just some great work by the Knights right now. And they've really limited Remington Shahan for the Saints right now.
And Dawson, of course, CVC tournament time. The winner of this game today will go on to face the winner of the next game between the Juniata Eagles and the Cougars of Kane. The Juniata Eagles able to get a win of the first round over top of the Roadrunners of Rapinoe. And then Rutgers Newark falling to the Marymount Saints. Both those games went 3 sets to 1. And again, these being the semifinals, Dawson, whichever team wins tonight will go on to either face the Juniata College Eagles or the Cougars of Kane, depending on who wins that game directly after this.
It'll be exciting. Like you said, it's right after this game. We'll be able to broadcast that game to these fans here watching, just so that they can see who their team goes up against this conference championship game.
And Dawson, the championship game will be tomorrow, April 13th at 4 o'clock right here at the Gymnasium, Rockbridge County High School. And again, brought to you by the Knight Sports Network and the students of Southern Virginia University. Right now, Southern Virginia up 12-9 over top of the Marymount Saints. But Dawson, a back and forth affair so far. We've seen leads like this crumble in a matter of seconds. Dig by Aina. Likewise for Knight. Just long from Rekabar and Dawson. And that brings the lead back down to 2. The Marymount Saints looking to force the Knights into those errors like they did in the last couple of sets.
Well, the Saints were really lucky that time. Noel Rekabar going up high for that one and just not able to put it down inbounds.
Saints trying to keep it alive. Point goes down for the Southern Virginia Knights, but Dawson, great effort by number 1, Kyra McCullough-Gattasi, the freshman and libero from Ashburn, Virginia. That one far and away by Wiles. Dawson, has something gotten to the head of the Marymount Saints because they haven't been their usual selves in the last couple of points?
I think the confidence has kind of swayed a little bit. I feel like since the Knights have been able to gain the momentum, the Saints have kind of started to doubt themselves a little bit. I mean, you have a 2-1 set lead. This is not the time to start doubting yourself.
Well, Dawson, no doubt about that one. That time, Remington Shahan putting it back up. Still a 3-point game. Southern Virginia leads over top of the Marymount Saints, 14-11. But Dawson, maybe you said maybe they're doubting themselves a little bit. Maybe fatigue starting to play a role. This is the 4th set.
And Remington Shahan finally able to get his 5th set of the game. He's been a little bit slow today in that category.
Zanalotti will this time look for Safley. Not able to be played by Southern Virginia. Point goes down for Safley.
Mitch Yusevich is trying to play that out of the net and dig it out of there, but unfortunately it's too low for him at that point.
14-2. Saints with an opportunity to bring it within one, and right now Dawson in the hands of number 7 senior Erik Wiles. Safley still alive for Southern Virginia Knights. Now Reckerbarn still alive off the top.
Oh my goodness.
What a point for the Saints, Dawson. They dig it out of nowhere.
Are you
turning
kidding
nothing into something, the Marymount Saints.
That put a smile on Coach Dan Liberto's face, going off the wall, right towards the net. My goodness, I've barely ever seen anything like that.
They bring it within one, 14-13, and Erik Wiles back to serve again. Senior from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Too long by Reckerbarn, and Dawson, so far for Noel Reckerbarn, the hunt for getting 20 kills has eluded him. His last couple attacks, he's been sitting right there at 19. We've watched his hit percentage go down from 5.71, 5.25, now sits at 4.71. All tied up, 14-14. Erik Wiles back to serve for the Marymount Saints. What a comeback it has been for the Saints. And Dawson, they've opened the door for the Southern Virginia Knights. Substitute now with a 1-point lead and the ball back in their hands.
There's only so many doors you can open for the Knights before you start to walk through them. And that was, like you just mentioned, that's a door that the Knights can easily walk through and start taking away this fourth set.
Hands of Mitch Yusevich, senior from Gilbert, Arizona. No one's getting to that one. Sam Safley putting another one on the board. His 17th kill of the night. 2 behind Southern Virginia's Noel Reckerbarn.
And now we see number 11, Jason Perkins, coming in. We've seen Jason Perkins make a couple of really good plays so far in this game. Really clutch plays in those sets. They were able to take away a victory.
Freshman Jason Perkins has really stepped up for the Saints. And that time, number 15. So we talked about Jason Perkins, a freshman, stepping up. At that time, the senior stepping too far. Foot violation on the serve.
This is the second time he's done that in this game.
Safley. That one's blocked by a couple of Knights. Reckerbarn and Wilson and Dawson. We've watched Reckerbarn all season. Not one of those players that gets too excited, always very stoic, but that time showing his emotion.
He is feeling the energy here in this building today. He knows the importance of this game. He knows the importance of this moment right here, right now.
We'll look for Safley again. Same play, same result. They look for Safley, and Colby Wilson responds with a block.
For some reason, Marymount keeps wanting to attack that left side. They need to switch things up a little bit. They're getting too predictable, and that's why the Knights have been able to get those blocks.
And also Sam Safley, 17 kills on the night, 278 hit percentage. But so far the Knights have racked up their blocks in the last couple of points. They have 8 total on tonight, 14 block assists. So far, the Southern Virginia Knights getting it done on the front line, especially as of late against these great outside hitters of the Saints.
They absolutely haven't. I mean, the Saints have consistently been trying to go to Safley here on this near side, like I mentioned. And so they need to switch things up. Try going down the middle with Shan. He hasn't really gotten involved yet to try to get him actually into this game because they need him. They need to utilize him as a weapon. You also have Erik Wiles, who's had a couple of great hits here in this game. And he's one of the leaders in kills right now with 8 kills.
And Dawson, James Knight, you mentioned how quiet he's really been. He has 9 kills. He's second on the Saints in terms of kills for this game. So is that a quiet 9, or do you think head coach Dan Liberto needs to look towards James Knight just a little bit more? Because it seems like maybe the Saints are getting a little predictable by trying to go to Safley every single time.
They really are getting predictable, and so I would agree. If you're going to use anybody right now and try to get him comfortable in this situation, it's James Knight or Erik Wiles. Because, again, those guys really stepped up. In fact, Erik Wiles was the one who got the last point for the Saints yesterday against Rutgers Newark. So he can't perform those clutch performances, and he's proven that.
And Dawson, another player warranting a mention, Southern Virginia's very own number 4 sophomore Mark Stapley. Throughout this entire season, very much like a role player for this team. But the keys to the kingdom are going to be handed to Stapley throughout his tenure at Southern Virginia.
They really will. I mean, he's shown his ability just being the young player that he is. He's not a very vocal player, but very loud in his play, as I mentioned before on this broadcast.
18-16, Marymount trying to mount a comeback. Safley. Too far from Sam Safley.
The Saints thinking that one of the Knights tipped it out of bounds. But honestly, they went a little too high for anybody to really get to it.
That time, Jason Perkins. Dawson, we mentioned Jason Perkins. He now has 8 kills on the day on a phenomenal over 700 hit percentage.
Again, it's the role players for the Saints that have really stepped up. And Perkins is one of those that will need to do it consistently to come back in this set.
Just too far for Reckabarn and Dawson. Reckabarn still not able to get to 20 kills. Stays stagnant at 19. And so do the Southern Virginia Knights, 19-18. Marymount brings it within 1 with the opportunity to tie after being down 4. Ball in the hands of Safley. Safley, 17 kills on the night. And chalk on a service error for Sam Safley. That's a crucial miss for the Saints as Southern Virginia now leads 20-18.
It is very crucial, and it's their 17th service error of the game. And again, with a team like SVU who knows how to close out games, that's a tough situation to be in.
Didn't come off the hands of Safley with a little bit, or just not enough power. Service ace for Colby Wilson and Southern Virginia Knights, and that was 21-18.
There's also some confusion as well as 2 players for the Saints just standing there looking at it and then finally deciding, oh, I need to dive for that when it's far too late.
They'll call the cleaning crew in. A lot of moisture there on the floor. It's really steamy in this gym, Dawson. I obviously can't feel it at home, and a player's putting in a lot of work out there. Tension is high, stakes are even higher.
And there's a lot of energized people in this building as well, bringing that heat in here. I mean, you can crank up the AC all you want to, but when you have this many people packed in here with so much energy, it's only so cold that it can get.
And Dawson now 21-19, Southern Virginia leads. Obviously a high pressure situation. Southern Virginia in the CVC tournament for the first time looking to make an impact. Point goes down for Cougar Clark, net violation against Shahan and the Saints. Southern Virginia up 22-19, and Dawson, you're still at a point where the Saints get on a good run, you're right back in it. But like we just said earlier in the last set, the race to 23 is the most crucial part of volleyball. Saints able to keep it alive. There's 20, now low Reckabarn.
Wow, that back corner with that power and that authority, my goodness. I mean, we don't even have to say anything. The crowd speaks for itself.
Kaipa Tagaloa back to serve. Southern Virginia putting on a show at the middle blockers. Net violation against Cougar Clark. Said he put his foot over the line. And Dawson, much to the disapproval of all the fans here.
Yeah, a lot of people completely disagreeing with that call, but then again, when you're the home team and your team is in a tense situation, you're going to disagree with calls that go against you.
And Dawson sees every time Southern Virginia even has the smallest of plays, this crowd erupts. If you're listening at home, I can hardly hear Dawson, who's sitting right beside me. And just like that, Southern Virginia now leads 24-20, an opportunity at set point to force a 5th and final set. Dawson, our job here as commentators is to help the people at home feel they're here at the game. If you can hear this noise, you're right a part of it. Southern Virginia set point, Cougar Clark. Recca Barn closes out the set and forces a 5th and final set. The CVC semifinals proving to be a one for the ages.
That set right there showed what the Knights are made of. It showed they could handle the pressure. They were down 2-1 in an upset opportunity for Marymount, but the Knights handled it. They were able to take away that 4th set and force a 5th set. Now let's see if the Saints can respond to the momentum swing to the Knights.
And Dawson, if there's 1 or 2 players you can point at for that Southern Virginia squad that really pulled them through that 4th set and kept the Saints at bay, who would those players be?
The Saints, well, for the Saints, the key players for them have definitely been Sam Safley and James Knight. Those players that really kept them in it. And as far as the Knights are concerned, of course you have Noel Reckabarn, who's finally passed 20 kills with 21 right now, and then Cougar Clark with 10. I mean, there's been some crucial mistakes on both sides and crucial moments, especially for the Saints there in the end of that last set. But I mean, players from both sides really stepping up. I mean, it's not a one-sided affair. Obviously being in the 5th set. You have players back and forth having great highlight reel performances.
And Dawson, we expect those heroes to come out and present themselves so far. Now, Will Reckabarn, like you mentioned, having a monster game. 21 kills on the night, 421 hit percentage, 5 digs, and 4 total blocks. But he is matched up with Sam Safley. You have a CVC first teamer in Reckabarn and a CVC third teamer in Safley going up against each other. 17 kills for Safley, and Dawson, he might have been second team. I don't have that number right in front of me. But with these two players going up against each other, it's a battle of wills between these two squads, and Sam Safley is second team. I apologize to Sam Safley if he listens to this after and if his family is listening out there. He is second team, and much deserved for Sam Safley.
He absolutely is. I mean, he's done a great job of keeping his team in this and helping them to have that lead right there before the Knights took that 4th set. And I mean, what more can you ask for in a conference tournament matchup? You have the energy of the fan base involved. It's a 5th set. The sets have been neck and neck. Players from both sides having a heck of a game. It's exciting to watch. And I just feel bad for the fans at home having to hear us along with the game going on here.
Maybe we'll do him a favor later. It's so exciting. We'll just grab some popcorn, sit back, and just let you enjoy. But Dawson, just going to ask you another question. We talked about the heroes that can step up. You have 2 great coaches on these 2 teams. Coach Tom Peterson, well-established, varsity veteran coach throughout NCAA athletics. Then you have a coach, Dan Liberto. Really interesting story for the Marymount Saints. In his second season, you take over a very highly touted program in the Marymount Saints. You come in and you're right up, you're forcing a 5th set. With the number 1 seed Southern Virginia Knights, who are also 7th in the nation, Dan Liberto proving to be the coach of the future in Marymount.
He really is. I mean, just talking to him, he obviously being a head coach at a great program, he knows what he's talking about. He knows his work, he knows his craft. And it's shown with the way he has motivated his players all season long to being, yes, an underdog team, but an underdog team that can overachieve.
And Dawson will see these teams getting a final huddle up for making the way to the floor for the 5th and final set of the CVC semifinals. And Dawson, again, the winner of this game will go on to face the winner of the game that follows directly after this one as the Cane Cougars take on the Eagles of Juniata. 1 seed going against the 3 seed right after this. But Dawson, again, all eyes on these 2 teams. The Marymount Saints, 4th seed in this CVC tournament, in a 5th set with the number 1 seed, Southern Virginia Knights. And Dawson, you'd think the Saints have had the momentum early, going up 2 sets to 1, but Southern Virginia doing what no one expected them to do, clawing back, forcing a 5th set.
Yeah, they really did, and it looked like for a moment there in that 4th set that the Saints would take it and run away with it because they had a lot of momentum in that 4th set, but the Knights really battling back despite some calls that didn't go their way, really showing what they're made of.
And Dawson, when I say that no one expected the Knights to do that, it's because no one expected Southern Virginia to be in that situation. No one expected them to be down 2 sets to 1. So for them to come back after that adversity, and they are a 1 seed, so they better with all the firepower they have, but to force this 5th and final set, absolutely phenomenal. And just like that, Cougar Clark getting things started for the Southern Virginia Knights. They lead 1-0. Knights draw first blood in the 5th and final set. semifinals of the CVC tournament up against the Marymount Saints. Saints trying to keep it alive. Knight. Justin, 22 for Noel Rekabar and Dawson. Absolute monster game for the sophomore. He could very well end with 30 kills on the night.
He really could if it keeps it up like this, the way he's been able to do it all season long. And with the momentum right now, he can get up to maybe 35 if he wanted to.
Nice trying to keep it alive. They do. Attack coming from Marymount. Zanalotti, look for Wiles. Saints respond 2-1.
And Daniel Hain, I knew that one was probably going out of bounds, so he definitely regretted touching that one.
Referees just taking a little bit of time now. Again, Dawson helping clean it up. But that's what both these teams need. You need that time to rest, talk over what you need to do. Crucial moments for both of these teams.
And also just need some time to think. I mean, in situations like this, it's so easy to just react and forget your place and forget your responsibilities. But you need to stay focused. And so like you said, Chris, a perfect opportunity to do so.
Back to serve now, number 4, Joseph Zanalotti. Another one down for Rekabar and Dawson. That's 23. And Dawson, just if anyone's thinking at home, the national NCAA record for kills in a game in a 5-set match is 31. Rekabar 23 on today. He's nearing that.
And again, very capable of that. He's found his rhythm here in this 5th set. He knows where he wants to attack.
Service error by Yusevich keeps the Saints right in it. 3-2 is the score. And Erik Wiles, Mr. Consistency so far for the Saints, back behind the line for service. Saints trying to keep it alive. They'll look for Safley. Another one for Rekabar and Dawson.
He is 7 kills away from that record.
Mark Stapley now back to serve. Just far by Rekabar, and they're trying to say it took a touch off. It'll stay with the Saints, though.
The Knights really wanting a call tip-off, but I agree with the ref not calling a tip right there.
Remington Shahan back to serve. Dawson, net violation against the Saints.
And the Saints get in their own head a little bit as the Knights now have a 2-point lead.
Back to serve now, Noel Rekabar. Safley. Another one for Reckabar and Dawson, 25 for the sophomore. And Dawson, he had 3 kills away from being tied for 4th all-time NCAA. This is all divisions 1 through 3, in kills in a 5-set match. Another one for the Knights, that time Cougar Clark. Dawson, so much talk about Reckabar and Knights changing it up there, and the Saints are on their heels.
They really are, and that's why they need to call a timeout right now, being down by 4 points, and the Knights can do no wrong right now. Noel Reckabar is feeling it. Cougar Clark's feeling after that last kill. And Coach Tom Peterson, you're extremely proud of the way your team has responded, especially after being down 2 sets to 1, and now in this 5th set, you're battling for your life and doing a good job of it.
Dawson right now, Southern Virginia up 7-3 in the 5th and final set. Again, in the 5th and final set, it's a race to 15. Whichever team wins it, gets there first, will make their way to the championship game, where they'll face the winners of Kane and Juniata directly following this. And Dawson, we mentioned with this game, we have an added story with Reckabar chasing a stat line, chasing the record book. He has 26 kills up today. Record and kills in a 5-set match is held by Gabby Garcia Fernandez of BYU with 31 kills. And if Noel gets 2 more, he'll be tied for 4th and right underneath Jalen Jasper of Stanford.
And I mean, it's well deserved. He's been doing a great job all game long. Started off slow. The Knights had a hard time getting him going. But since then, he's been unstoppable. And the Saints have really had no answers for him.
He finds himself back for service to the Southern Virginia Knights. SVU with a commanding lead, 7-4, 4 points ahead. Over top of the 4th seed, Saints of Marymount. Service error for the Knights, and Dawson, just as we talk about now, Will Reckabar being an unstoppable force, opens the door there for the Saints. They've shown the ability to get back in this game, especially when James Knight has the ball, and that's who lines up for the Saints.
And James Knight's done an incredible job behind the line so far in this tournament. Very formidable server.
Too far by James Knight. Keeps it at a 4-point lead for Southern Virginia. And Dawson, now they'll switch sides in the 5th and final set. Southern Virginia taking the first half of the 5th and final set, but again, a race to 15. And so far, Southern Virginia showing why they're the 1 seed.
They absolutely are. I mean, again, after falling behind, they've done a great job of responding. I mean, that's what great teams do. You're used to seeing great teams just simply dominate every game, really no challenge whatsoever. No, real great teams, they have adversity and they respond to it. They get down, they get back up. They hit in the mouth by teams that they shouldn't be, well, I guess teams that are lower ranked than them, and they hit back.
Knights an opportunity. Tagaloa. This time the Saints, Safley. Another point for Southern Virginia, Dawson. They get to 9-4, 5-point lead. The Saints continue to look for Safley, and he continues to be shut down in this 5th set. Not a single kill for Safley in the 5th. Wiles too far, and Dawson, crowd is electric. Southern Virginia, first one to reach 10. They're up by 6.
The crowd is electric. The band's into it. The players on the court are just in the clouds right now. They are feeling it, and they are very ready to run away with it.
Colby Wilson now to serve for the Southern Virginia Knights. That time a block. That's Miss Yusevich and Dawson. We talked about Jason Perkins. Nothing going right for the Saints of Marymount. Honestly, it's devastating to watch.
It really is, because the Saints have played a heck of a game. The Saints have done such a good job at limiting a lot of great plays from these Knights players, but the Knights just taking the momentum right now.
Quick, smart point by Joseph Zanalotti. And Dawson, the Saints trying to make a statement. And Joseph Zanalotti to get a point there. The first one in a while for the Marymount Saints. still alive. Erik Wiles into the net.
And the Knights now being up 12-5. You have all the reason to think you can run away with this one in the fifth set and keep this energy going, especially with Kapatago behind the line.
Too far, Erik Wiles. What Dawson, they say it's tipped off a couple of fingertips of Southern Virginia. Keeps that at 12-6, 6-point lead for the Saints. Dawson, something we've seen all game, referees having differing of opinions, therefore making itself evident again. Why not Cougar Clark?
My goodness. The junior stepping up, making a huge play. But Cougar Clark getting a talking to. And there's a lot of fans here saying that Cougar Clark didn't.
Well, Dawson, just from our seat here, it looked like the referee was giving or saying to Cougar, you have 2 warnings. That's 2 times now, trying to keep his spirits down low. But again, Dawson, it's such a, what an environment it is to be able to keep your spirits down. It's a testament of will. Just wide, Dawson. Kill for Rekabaran. .27 kills for Nawel Rekabaran. And now Cougar Clark, an opportunity to send Southern Virginia to the final. Point goes to Wiles. Saints tooth and nail trying to stay in this one. Joseph Zanalotti now back to serve. It's still match point for the #1 seeded Southern Virginia Knights. A lot of work to do if you're Zanalotti and the Saints. Just wide, Cougar Clark. Saints finding a foothold, trying to climb back in this one. Still match point for the Southern Virginia Knights. Joseph Zanalotti. Service error. Southern Virginia, off an error from Joseph Zanalotti, and the Marymount Saints make their way to the CVC Championship Final. Just a reminder, they'll face off against the winner of Kane and Juniata, which will play right after this. What a hard-fought game it was. In the end, though, the #1 seed proving why they're the #1 seed. Slow start, but able to get it done late. They had to force a 5th and final set, but it was a great showing by the Southern Virginia Knights, and what a show it was by the Marymount Saints to come in here, a neutral zone. They'd never played in this gym before until yesterday, and face off against a 1 seed and do what they did is absolutely remarkable. And in terms of Nawel Rekabaran, he was 1 kill shy of being 4th all-time in kills in a 5-set match. Instead, he'll settle for being 5th on that record book. And just in a moment, we hope to bring you our very own Dawson Riedrich standing alongside Knight head coach, CVC Coach of the Year, Tom Peterson. have our very own Dawson Weidrich standing alongside head coach Tom Peterson after that great win. Dawson, what do you have?
I'm here with Coach Tom Peterson. Coach, you guys are down 2-1 early on in that game. What were you guys able to do to come back against Marymount?
Well, first of all, I want to give kudos to Marymount. They are a very well-coached team. They played hard. They're much better, I thought, in every single way as the season progressed. That coach is good, the team is good, a bunch of good guys, and I want to give kudos to them. I don't think it was anything that, in particular, we have a good team and we had to do our, capitalize on our strengths. And our strengths from the back row, that kept us in the match and then kind of won it. I think that we have one of the best back row attacks in the country. We can hit right up the middle, we call them bigs and pluses, and we can hit a D, but we have some outside hitters that got a ton, probably too many sets tonight. We like to spread it out a little bit better than that, but our outsides did a nice number along with everybody else tonight.
Awesome. Congratulations, Coach. Thank you so much. And the Knights move on to the championship game of the CVC tournament. Chris, back to you.
Thank you and congratulations to head coach Tom Peterson and the Southern Virginia Knights, the #1 seed, beating out the 4 seed Saints of Marymount and move out to the CVC final. Face the winner of this next matchup, the 7 Kane Cougars, 2nd seed in the CVC tournament, going up against the Eagles of Juniata, the 3rd seed. We hope to see you then. We thank you so much for joining us on the Knights Sports Network. Stay tuned for more great CVC men's volleyball action.